Damn, it happened. It happened. Y'all remember when we talked about the first ever kidney transplant from a pig? Mr. Richard Slayman has died at 62. They're trying to say it's not because of that pig transplant. I'm not a medical professional, but you know. It's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.
The man who became the world's first person to receive a kidney from a genetically modified pig has passed away. 62-year-old Rick Slayman died about 2 months after the historic procedure in March. He had been diagnosed with end-stage kidney disease late last year. In a statement, his family said, "Our family is deeply saddened, but take great comfort knowing he inspired so many." The hospital in Massachusetts, where the procedure took place, says there's no indication yet that his death was caused by that transplant.
Man, R.I.P. to Richard Slayman. You know, I don't know. You know, I in the previous video, I'll link it in the description. I talked about, like, I was a bit uncomfortable. I don't really like the whole idea of testing on us. We've been through that as a race, as a culture. Black folks have been through the whole testing thing and still are. Without getting all conspiracy theory on y'all. You know, but yeah, man, it's sad to see him go so soon. It's only been like a month. You know, I could look back at when we posted that video. I think it's been like 5 weeks, and it's man down. So I got another video I'm gonna show with them basically trying to confirm it didn't have anything to do with the kidney. So let's take a look at that.
So at this time, there's no indication that the kidney transplant had any influence on his death.
Doctors say they don't believe the man who received the world's first pig.
I don't know. Something about this guy's face telling me it's telling me I shouldn't trust this guy. I don't know. He just that's just me. I don't know.
Any influence on his death.
Doctors say they don't believe the man who received the world's first pig kidney transplant died because of the transplanted organ. Boston's Massachusetts General Hospital announced 62-year-old Rick Slayman's death a few days ago.
There's so many unknowns.
Dr. Leonardo Riella heads kidney transplants there.
We saw him in clinic on the day that he ended up passing. And so we had evidence of that his blood tests and urine tests showed that the kidney was working well.
Slayman had end-stage renal disease. His kidney transplant came from a pig that had been genetically edited, a procedure that was celebrated as a milestone to offer up more readily available organs to patients.
Kidney was functioning well. It was making urine.
Dr. Mike Curtis is the CEO of eGenesis, the startup which provides...
Now, they keep talking about the kidney was functioning well, it was making urine. That's, I mean, okay, maybe, I don't know. Like, again, I'm not a surgeon, I'm not a doctor. The only thing we can go off of, for those of us who are not in this profession, is, you know, what we're being told. So that's fine. My question is, are there other outside factors outside of it just, you know, dispensing urine properly and whatever, that could have caused some sort of illness that ultimately led to his death? They've said they've highlighted the fact that the kidney was working properly one too many times for me already. Which, you know, just because it's functioning properly, again, doesn't mean that there isn't something outside of that could have caused him to pass. So just thinking outside the box. We here. If y'all tuning in, we just critically thinking. I'm not out here. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything or anything like that. Just think critically. If you got a different opinion, drop it in the comments. I'd be, I'm curious. I'm like legitimately curious because this is not my space at all. I'm a business guy. I'm not a medical professional.
Slayman's pig kidney.
He was a relatively complicated patient, right? He had a reasonable cardiovascular risk. He had metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, hyperlipidemia.
Stop it. So, if he had all these risks, why are y'all sticking a pig in him to begin with? I would think that if I'm going to test anything, I'm going to test it on the best possible patient I could, right? That's like you wanna try out a new engine in a car, and instead of getting a car that's got a working radiator, inflated tires, and all the other major components, you want to try it on the most busted car. And I'm I'm not trying to say Mr. Slayman was a busted car, but I'm just saying you want to try it on a car that's got all these other issues in it, and then you want to stick the engine in there, and you want to say, oh, the engine went down and the whole car stopped running. Well, the car was pretty messed up to begin with. Let's why not try this new engine out in a car that's by everything else is running moderately functioning. I don't know. That this isn't really looking too good to me. Let's continue on.
And so the simple, hypothesis is there something from cardiovascular disease that could be playing into his loss of life? I think that's the simplest hypothesis and something that the teams are exploring.
More than 100,000 people in the U.S. are waiting for an organ transplant, with kidneys in the greatest demand. That's according to a data tracker maintained by the United Network for Organ Sharing. In a statement, Slayman's family said they took comfort knowing that he had inspired so many people.
I think the best way we can honor Mr. Slayman's legacy is to learn from this experiment, learn from this procedure, and inform what we do next. I think
What did he just say? Learn from this experiment?
I think the worst thing we can do is inform what we do next. Learn from this procedure and honor Mr. Slayman's legacy is to learn from this experiment, learn from this procedure, and inform what we do next. I think
I'll let y'all sit there and think on that one. Learn from this experiment. Again, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but sometimes when you just sit back and you just listen to things and you listen to people, a lot more is said in the silence and in between the words and in between the lines than what's actually being said out loud.
the worst thing we can do is become too conservative and stop.
That'd probably be the only thing that I would agree with them on. I mean, when it comes to science or anything, any breakthrough. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm a business guy, but even you can apply that to business, right? If it's something that isn't quite working out, you make some progress. The worst thing you can do is stop. I hate that it has to be at the cost of, individuals' lives, especially those who are, struggling to survive. And that had to suck for him to walk out of that hospital with that kidney transplant and think like, okay, I got a whole new look on life. and not but a few weeks later start, going down bad. So, yeah, again, uh, condolences to the family of Richard or Rick Slayman. Yeah, man, it's prayers up. That's all I can say. It's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.